Maharashtra sees a record 48% jump in property registrations. Sale registrations in Mumbai rise almost 200% in the last week of December. November 2020 sale registrations touch an 8-year record high in Mumbai. These were some of the most cheerful real estate headlines we welcomed along with the new year. And all of these were triggered by one timely decision by the Maharashtra government, that of cutting stamp duty on property registrations starting September 2020 from 5% to 2%. Today, as we bring you a brand new season of the Property Show, the question we are asking, does it make sense for other Indian states to follow in Maharashtra's footsteps to rev up demand and bring back the much needed mojo back to India's housing sector in 2021? Welcome everyone, I'm Manisha Natarajan and my panelists today, Sanjay Dutt, MD and CEO Tata Housing, Amit Goyal, CEO India Sotheby's International Realty, Gaurav Karnik, EY India Real Estate Leader. I'm going to toss the first question to Sanjay. Sanjay, Maharashtra, look at it. I mean, the numbers and the results have been so stupendous. They've also announced a cut in development premium by 50%. Time for other states to follow suit?
Absolutely, Manisha. I think what Maharashtra government went through initially, which any other state leaders would go through, is will there be further decline in revenue because you're reducing the rates? And the deliberations were that if the volume goes up, it will be compensated. So they took the leap of faith, went with it, and the results are outstanding. So I think other states should follow and take the clue that if you revive the economy, the state revenues can actually jump and exceed previous expectations.
Like you rightly pointed out, I mean, the state revenues, imagine Maharashtra was able to increase its revenues by 367 crore rupees. And remember, this was a very difficult year where states were struggling for their share of GST revenues because the economy was going through a turmoil. So the entire narrative has completely changed. Amit Goyal, come in here, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh in India, and there are global examples, isn't it? I mean, look at the UK market. They've given a tax holiday till March 31st, and that's another market which is roaring. So there are enough and more examples.
Indeed, Manisha, this is a very positive step that Maharashtra government has taken, and I'm optimistic it will certainly boost the sales in other regions too. You see, after it was recommended by the Deepak Parekh committee and Maharashtra government announced about the stamp duty cut, Mumbai has recorded highest number of property registrations in November and December versus the same period in 2019. The numbers have grown by almost 3x, and stamp duty cut will not only reduce cost and increase the purchasing power for the consumers, this will also help rationalize cost for the developers and keep the price escalation in control. And this should also make the real estate sector attractive for investors and institutional investors.
You know, I'm also looking at the London and the UK figures. In fact, a stamp duty holiday which was announced by Rishi Sunak, who's the chancellor there, and it continues till March 31st. Now, that property market has accelerated to a 7.3% rise, and we know that UK has probably faced the worst of the pandemic. Gaurav Karnik, enough and more examples here that there is nothing for states to fear right now. If they follow steps of Maharashtra and countries like UK, there's actually good enough reason to bring down stamp duty and bring back that, you know, confidence in the real estate buyer that interest rates are at probably the lowest in 40 years. And now prices haven't gone up for the last maybe 4 to 5 years, if not more. This is just the best time then to utilize that stamp duty cut.
Yeah, Manisha, I would agree with what the panelist said. You know, the stamp duty, bringing down the stamp duty. Actually, normally, if you see any tax rates, when we lower the tax rate or make them more benign, we typically land up in a situation where the revenues go up. And, that's been proved by many economist theories. So over the years, if you've seen the income tax rate, when it's been reduced for personal tax purposes from, the old 90% to the around 30-odd%, we've definitely seen the connection go up. And the same principle would definitely work on stamp duty. Stamp duty is a large cost, and it's, it used to range between 5 to 15% across India. And it's always been a hindrance to some of the pricing decreases that your developers won't pass on or do otherwise. But now with the stamp duty lower and also interest rates at its lowest in many, many years, I think there are many, many drivers for, people to go and buy houses. So I think with the reduction in stamp duty and the interest rates continuing to be low, and I think it will continue for a while on the interest rates being lower, there will be a larger volume of people coming to purchase houses. And over the last year or so, and during the course of pandemic, we have seen a lot more of the end users looking to buy houses and apartments. And, that's also moved away from people who are renting, who had some unfortunate experiences with landlords. And therefore, they are also some of the people who are now looking to buy houses and, become first-time buyers. So clearly a good idea to reduce stamp duties across the country. And I think the volumes will take care of the numbers.
Volumes will take care of the matter. Sanjay Dutt, I mean, there was this entire clamor as well at one point of time that if we have GST, why are we not subsuming stamp duty? That conversation, of course, because GST was toppled multiple times for real estate. No one really knew how to get it right. And finally they did. Do you think there is still merit to, extend probably or give a long holiday? I know Maharashtra has done a fabulous job of bringing it down to 2% and now 3% till 31st March. But is there merit to actually rethink that entire dialogue, especially because the sector, that is all the developers, when I meet all of you, you say we are very heavily taxed. In fact, 30% of our house cost is made of taxes in India.
Manisha, two corrections. One, the government hasn't got the real estate GST right still, I believe. And I know you're looking at it from residential side. I'm also looking from commercial side as a whole. So no input credit, still very high. Look at the GST on cement, which is a major ingredient beside the other challenges of the sector. So one is this. Secondly, I think while the government has taken, and few state governments have taken this bold step, there's a reason why they did. I think if you look at the benefits of this traction because of reduction, unlocking of capital during NBFC crisis, liquidity was a major concern. Sales was a concern, so was banking funding and NBFC funding. You are able to unlock inventory, which is over 30 months and in fact will go up because overall sales were down. So that was one. Second, the unlocking and now perhaps starting of new projects because the capital will start flowing in, jobs will get created. So the state government will reactivate multiple revenue streams which were getting clocked because of this mindset, which is now opened. And by reducing this, they've benefited. And clearly, imagine if they were to do away with, which is what is the question that we're talking about, the benefit will be even further because the traction, like our colleague on the panel said, the investors are not in the market. They are basically end users. Imagine if the investors return, just the way in the equity markets you've seen the traction in the real estate sector will really bounce because prices are all-time high, EMIs are all-time, prices were all-time low, EMIs are all-time low, promotional schemes and payment schemes from the developers, lower stamp duty or doing away with all of this is bound to give them a lift in the economy and the government will benefit overall. So I think there is no, there should not be any concern or fear the state should have that it will lead to drop in revenues because they already tested the success in few of these states. So there is a very strong merit. And to answer your second part of the question, taxes, it's not 30-35%, Manisha. It is 55% plus. So
that is a math. That is a math, though, Sanjay. I'm still struggling to understand. I mean, when I go to the housing ministry, they say there's no question that we charge so highly. I got to understand the math better. Gaurav, is it really true? I mean, as EY and the national leader of real estate, is that how heavily real estate sector is taxed, and does it all flow into the end price for the customer?
Yeah, so I think there are two parts to it. As a developer, you're paying the corporate tax rate. On top of it, when you repatriate money post-tax, you have to pay a dividend tax, which is again at the maximum marginal rate. And then if you add up the GST, because, the sale on residential, the 5 and 1% is without the ITC credit or the input tax credit. So, you have cost of various materials which you pay GST on, and that cost you cannot take a credit against when you're selling this under construction. Along with it, you add the stamp duty. You are pretty much higher than the 30%. I'm not sure whether it's 55%, but it's way above the 30% number. 30%. For sure.
Okay. Amit, do Ultra, I know I've been reading a little bit about your transaction acceleration in the last 3-4 months with luxury home buyers upgrading to bigger houses, etc. Do the rich really care about stamp duty cuts? I mean, is that something, if they're buying a 100 crore home, does it matter to them? Or does it matter more to them because it's a 100 crore home?
Of course, Manisha. Who doesn't like a cherry on the cake? You see, if somebody is buying a 100 crore home and paying and saving 3% stamp duty, by way of cut, it would amount to about 3 crore rupees. And the 3 crore that buyer may use towards, buying art and furnishings, in the home and make it much more, decorative and luxury. So, these days, most of the transactions that we are doing and we've done in the recent past, the buyers are looking to buy even larger spaces with more, outdoor space, having a home office, a gymnasium, some entertainment area, kids play area, etc. within the house, as they are, looking to spend more and more time in their home.
So you're saying that the money saved can go to buy new things and accelerate the economy further. All right, we're going to take a quick short break, gentlemen, and come back to ask this very interesting question, which a lot of experts are talking about, that, you can give a stamp duty cut, a stamp duty holiday, accelerate sales maybe for 2 quarters, 3 quarters. But what happens post restoring it back to its original levels? Does the market become flat then? We'll come back and tackle that. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching The Property Show, and our spotlight is on the need for Indian states to cut stamp duties on property registrations to give the housing sector the much needed boost in 2021. Maharashtra has done phenomenally well. They gave a tax holiday of bringing their stamp duty from 5% to 2% till December 31st, and it continues to be 3% till March 31st. We've flashed the graphics and the numbers on how well Maharashtra has done. But look at other states. Where are they? Tamil Nadu has a total registration cum stamp duty charge of 11%, and all other states of India are still ranging between 6.5% to 9%, and that's a big number. Sanjay Dutt, we've established that yes, we need to bring down stamp duties. There is a case now, and if states don't learn from seeing Maharashtra's example, it's going to be a big miss. There is Centre which has already spoken to them, sending messages to states. States are talking about it. Tamil Nadu is saying that they will cut. Other states are saying so, but we've not yet heard anything from them. The question I want to know, what happens? You bring down the stamp duty, you get this rush of buyers coming into the market, but once it's reverted back to its original number, do you think that the sector is again going to feel that heat of low sales or low demand volumes and low sales?
Absolutely not. Manisha, you spoke about getting flat. Right now, the developers are flat, thanks to all this higher taxes and low sales. Let the volume return. I think the market forces will dictate its own terms, and therefore markets will benefit from it overall. I don't think we should be worried whether achieving our highs from the lows, eventually it will lose its appeal as an incentive to stimulate the economy. I don't think so. I think India has a long-term sustainable story, at least in major industrial hubs and centers of economic activity. And right now, there is enough shortage, enough demand, even amongst the end users, not to mention about the investors who can potentially add to it. Remember the earlier figures of 500,000 units was sold at one point of time in a year. We are around 200,000. So we are way behind. So I think there is a lot of scope for us to benefit from this. And why should we not take a clue from the central government? They've reduced the corporate taxes, eventually doing away with some incentives, etc., etc. Why don't we move towards lower taxes, lower interest rates, lower inflation. The whole theme is slim, right? More agile, linear organization, outsourcing more, construction techniques and technology. So the state governments have to now take notice and bring about a change which is clearly missing.
Amit, very quickly, would you agree with Sanjay that you don't fear that, there will be a upfronting of buyers and then once the stamp duties are restored back to their normal level? Because, I doubt that states by themselves will continue or reduce stamp duties forever unless there's a big overhaul in the taxation structure. But do you worry that once the stamp duties are restored back, let's say in Maharashtra or in other states, if they bring it down, that the buyers are likely to go down again, or that's not a worry for you?
Great question, Manisha. I think market has been under duress for fairly, long, almost a decade, and there is, substantial pent-up demand. And these large number of buyers have been sitting on the fence for the right time. And I think this is going to motivate all such buyers to make their decision in the next few months and years, and sector may continue to see demand on a sustained basis. So I'm not worried on that account.
Okay.
You see, I also wish to add, one more point here, that most of the other markets, be it, UK or some European countries like Malta and all, central bank and agencies have not just, cut stamp duty, but they've supported the real estate sector in many other ways. And in India too, real estate sector contributes to the India, to our GDP in a big way, and it could be the highest as per estimates by 2030.
Well, we also have a quibble on the circle rates, isn't it, Amit? I mean, in so many markets, the circle rate is still out of sync with what the actual ground reality is on the prices of houses, and that's another thing which one needs to look at. So,
excellent point made by you. I think this is high time that, we rationalize the circle rates. There is an urgent need. We've seen thousands of property owners who are looking to monetize their assets and they want to sell their properties, but the market prices of those assets are much, much lower than the circle rates. So they are not able to transact because of the stamp duty issue, registration issue, and also the income tax issue.
And a big
issue. That is something which has been pending for very long.
I think, yes, that's another big demand of the industry, and there has been some change on it. But coming back to what we can expect, Sanjay, very quickly, we talked about a lot of things, and clearly the industry is feeling the heat. If the industry doesn't get out of its difficult days, it's going to have an effect on the NBFCs, on the banks' recovery, and just so much more. If you were to just quickly capture for me, if you want state, government and center put together to do three things on the taxation front, what would those three things be?
At the state level, Manisha, you're saying?
Both state, let's do state stamp duty for sure, we've established. Anything else? And then of course the center.
So clearly we have an example of Maharashtra. So the premiums and the taxes, development premiums, and stamp duty and the taxes, the state property taxes, these three at the state level are extremely important to make sense. The fourth item, which is linked to cost, is the time period it takes to take approvals, and we've discussed that several times.
Yeah, we won't go. My question, Sanjay, sorry, I'm going to interrupt you here, but the 50% development premium discount that Maharashtra developers have now got, will you pass that on as reduced prices? How does that translate to end customer pricing in a market like Mumbai, which is just phenomenally expensive?
All developers in last 5 to 7 years, Manisha, have really understood the real equity IRR. Earlier, they used to think multiples. They really understand that there is cost to time. So the developer today is very conscious. They will make the product competitive. They will offer and pass on the benefit just the way they've done in Maharashtra. All the developers have gone for zero stamp duty. So even if there is 2% from the government, they are putting the bill of the 2%. If they can pass on that 2%, why wouldn't they do it now? Because they know if the demand comes back, they will unlock their land banks and stuck projects which are lying with, the distress fund right now for capital. They will all open up for private equity to become viable.
I'll have to wrap there, but I think you've ended on an extremely positive note, Sanjay. That's music to my ear that, stuck projects, land banks, those can now start getting opened up if demand picks up. And I think that is also another very hopeful note. Hopefully in 2021, even the stuck projects will start and the homes will be delivered. It's always been a touchy point, but we're going to talk about good things for 2021. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me. We are hoping that states will follow Maharashtra now that they have clear example of volumes coming back if you give a stamp duty reduction. And we also know that real estate sector has a tremendous multiplier effect on ancillary industries. So hopefully it will make sense for states to take a leaf from Maharashtra and announce stamp duty cuts sooner than later. I'll see you again next week, same time with another hot topic on property markets. For now, it's goodbye from me.